What's up, guys? So at the end of my videos, I've always said stay tuned. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff coming up in the future. Well, even I didn't know something this cool was gonna be coming up. This is a Mauser C96 Broomhandle, chambered in 763. Wow. That landed in my head. Alright, so the first thing I noticed when I picked up this handgun was actually how comfortable it is. When you see it, it looks uncomfortable. It looks weirdly balanced with that broom handle grip, which hence the name, broom handle. It just looks like it would be a very clunky, uncomfortable feeling handgun. Well, in reality, it balances pretty nicely. It does have forward weight, but it's comparable to a revolver, honestly. It doesn't feel that bad. I actually find it kind of comfortable. But I will say you got to watch out how high you get up on the handgun because that hammer will pinch you. There's a little slot in the back where the hammer rides in. If you get too high up on the gun, your flesh can get in there and it can pinch the crap out of you. So if you just look at that slot and make sure that your hand is below it, you'll be fine. Aside from that, it's actually a pretty comfortable feeling gun. It's got a decent trigger on it. I mean, for the time period, it's a pretty good trigger. The safety, if you're right-handed, is very easy to actuate. Putting it on safety is a little bit uncomfortable because you have to overcome the mainspring, because when you put it on safety, it pulls back on the hammer. So taking it off safety is easy and intuitive. But putting it on, you have to push it quite a ways, and then you have to overcome the hammer springs. But aside from that, it's actually pretty comfortable if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, well, good luck. That seems to be a very common thing of the era, is left-handers learn to be right-handed. Another issue people were having at the range was loading this firearm. You have to put a stripper clip in because if you try to put them one at a time, the only thing holding the bolt back is the follower. So as soon as you push down on that follower, the bolt goes forward. Now if you have the stripper clip, it gets in the way of the bolt and prohibits it from going forward while you feed in the rounds. And we have a couple stripper clips that were a pain to load. I mean, they held the rounds in really well, but once you try to push them into the magazine, it was pretty stiff. I found one that I found really easy to use, and I kind of hogged that one to myself. But loading the gun can be a little bit uncomfortable. The sights on this gun are laughable. They adjust all the way out to 1,000 meters. Now with a handgun, that is completely idiotic. It is not going to be accurate out to 1,000 meters, and especially this one. So I bought this thing from Gun Broker, got it home, started looking at the internals, making sure that there was no damage on the inside or excessive rust, and I looked down the barrel just to find that there was zero rifling. There's no indication there ever was rifling in it. I basically have a smooth bore Mauser Broomhandle. So accuracy kind of goes out the window, but you would be surprised. I know the 7.63 caliber is moving pretty fast. It's a hot rod cartridge, but I didn't expect at 20 yards to be getting the groups I was. Now, granted, they were not going in straight. Actually, about 80% of them were hitting the target sideways, but it was printing in a predictable group at 20 yards, which impressed me. I mean, this is not a precision gun. I wouldn't take this to competitions or anything, but you know, if you had to use this for self-protection, as long as it was under 20 yards, you could hit your target. You may be hitting them sideways, but you know, you could hit your target. There was one shot where it went in straight. I'm genuinely impressed with how accurate this thing's being with zero rifling, but it's definitely showing its issue. So yeah, it may not be the most accurate firearm, but it is a pretty reliable one. Now the first round will sometimes have issues going into battery, and you just have to push on the back of the bolts just a little bit to help with the feeding. But once you get that round in there, it shoots pretty reliably. In the first 50 rounds though, I did have one failure to extract, which was really easy. I just pulled back on the bolt just a little bit and shook it, and it fell right out. And after that, I never had a problem. I shot about 150 rounds through this thing without one hiccup. All right. And then I have to kind of help it. All right. So I can't see myself shooting this thing a whole lot more. I would like to, but ammunition for it is expensive. Now there is new manufactured ammo for this, made by Fiocchi, but it's not cheap ammunition. I think I paid 73 bucks for 100 rounds. Now that's with shipping and tax, but still. All right, to finish up, I really am excited that I was able to purchase this handgun. It's such a cool piece of history. I mean, this was the first commercially successful semi-auto handgun. It is well built. It doesn't feel as clunky as you think. I always feel like Han Solo when I hold this thing, and if you don't know that reference, you definitely haven't been watching a lot of videos on this, because in Star Wars they used this gun as a prop for Han Solo's blaster. All right, well, he has the shitty one, so good luck to you. Oh. Hey, he got it. You just needed the right leverage, right?
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was such an amazing experience to be able to take a piece of history out to the range. I love that when I go to the range with this kind of handgun, people just flock around. Actually, when I picked it up from the gun shop and I was doing the paperwork, somebody next to me saw that I bought this and just kind of crowded around. When I went to the range with it for the first time, everyone wanted to come see it and shoot it. So I think that's a really cool piece of this gun, is it attracts so many people because it is an iconic gun and it has such a cool history behind it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff coming up in the future, and trust me, I hope I keep surprising myself like I did with this. There's gonna be a lot of cool stuff coming up in the future, but I don't know how I'm gonna top this one. But I'll figure out a way. Hello, I'm a man round. I make your fun go away. Yay!
You jackass.